Hey guys, Scott's Football here, back with another video, and tonight we are doing the NPL West League table predictions on what I think are going to happen this season, just for a bit of fun. It's not a perfect prediction. It's just pretty accurate on what I think is going to happen throughout the season. I always enjoy doing this. I'm going to be ranking the teams from bottom all the way to the top. So let's get started then. In 22nd place, I have got Vauxhall Motors. They had a really tough season last season, finishing somewhere like 16th, I think, and there's 20 teams in that league. That season, and not 22. 20 last season, now 22 this season. So that's why I think they'll struggle, as they didn't do that well last season. Ex-conference team back in the day, but sadly no more. Right, in 21st place now we have got Trafford, another team that avoided relegation at the end in last season. I think there was only 2 or 3 games to go where they survived. I think it was Kidsgrove when he managed to survive at. So they ended up changing the manager quite late on during the season, or it might be middle of the season. But if they wanted to change their manager, I think they would ended up going down, but they managed to survive in the end. But I think this season will be their fate, sadly. In 20th place now, Liverpool surprised a few people, and that is Whiston Town, as they have just come up from winning in the playoffs against Bury in the playoff final. A lot of people are saying they'll do a lot better than what I have said, and they're not going to go down. But if they do finish, if they stay up or finish top half, then fair play to them. Before predicting this video, I thought 2 teams went down. It's actually 4 now. So I thought Whiston Town and Whiston were both going to stay. We're both predicting to both stay up. But now, because the 4 team going down there is that I predicted them to go down, but they'll probably end up staying up anyway. But I'm not changing my predictions now. You can't keep changing them all the time. In 19th place, we got Whiston Town's rivals, the team that won the North West Counties Football League Premier Division last season. Both Whiston teams have actually had a very good pre-season, a really good season last year, so they'll probably end up staying up. But I've got them in the bottom 4. I'm not going to go back on that. Now, I hope both teams do stay up and do really well this season. 2 teams that are on the rise. I think they've both got back-to-back promotions, or it might have been one of them that got back-to-back promotions. Definitely one or the other. In 18th place, I've got Everton Collieries, who came down from the NPL Premier Division last season. David Chadwick really struggled to find his feet last season, but he's still their manager this season. They did also lose a lot of their players going into the season and throughout that season, so they were up against it from the start, really, when he first came, especially after just about surviving the other season. Our Staff Rangers fan, I watched them at our place and we beat them, and they were really poor then. And even in the game they beat us 1-0, they still looked really poor. We should have been taking advantage of them being really poor that game. I can't really see what they've done really this season. They haven't brought in many new faces for me. I think they have just got enough to stay in the division, but I do think they'll struggle. In 17th place, we got Kidsgrove Athletic. They started off really well in August and September and were top of the league. Then it all fell apart throughout the rest of the season and ended up just about staying up. They have made a couple of decent signings, and apparently the mood around the place is actually starting to be looking a lot happier compared to what happened last season. I think it will be another lower half finish for them this season, and it could be in that relegation battle. But I think they'll be alright compared to that season. In 16th place, we got Newcastle Town, another team that was in the lower half of the table, but not going up, not finishing mid-table, but not going down either, kind of lower half of the table side. They have now got a former League Town manager in charge who did well with League. He got them to the playoff, but not quite to getting top of the league and going straight back up. And he came into the save Newcastle, I think, when they were struggling last season. So they've kept hold of some decent players, and he brought in former Stafford lad Jack Serrett and also Ben Woods, who played for us last season, and it look like a decent squad. So they'll finish lower half of the table, but I don't think they'll be near the relegation battle this season. They'll be okay. They might finish a bit higher because their new manager, he is proven at this. So he succeeded at league apart from getting them up. Right. On to 15th place now. 15th place now. We got Mosley. A lot of people expected them to be a lot higher last season, and they finished 15th. That's why I think they'll finish here again. I think they could possibly finish a bit higher. I don't know how their season's going to go, really. I'm not sure who they brought in, really. But they've always been around anywhere in the table, really. The main mid-table team, really. But I think this is where they're going to finish again this season. But who knows? In 14th place now, we've got Avro. They finished top half last season. But I think with the second season, it's going to get a little bit more difficult for Avro, especially with the league getting even tougher this season. There's some decent teams coming up. Some decent teams that did bad this season, but they've brought in some decent players, and I think they're going to do a lot better this season. But Avro will probably end up higher, but they'll be okay for this season. In 13th place, we're on to my team, Stafford Rangers. We got relegated from the NPL West Division. Our 8-year stay ended last season. If I'm being honest with you, we did deserve to go down. We kept Dave Cook on manager and assistant manager Dale Balford. I'm glad Dave Cook is staying this season. He needed time to rebuild. He really did need time to rebuild this squad. We brought in some quality like Aaron Okapo, Dan Cockerline, Joe Morley, James McQuinlan, some decent players coming in. I think we've had a decent window. Wish we could have done a bit more, but Rangers reckon we're going to bring in a few more signers this week before the season starts. I don't think we're going to go straight back up, because once we've gone down to a tougher league, I think we'll really struggle. I don't think we'll go down. We might finish the lower half of the table, but I think mid-table, and if anything higher mid-table will be exceeding expectations this season. We have lost some good players like Kevin Anderson and Ethan Stewart, which were big losses, but we've also brought in some new decent lads that look good and have got experience in this league. And Dave Cook because he was at Nantwich, a lot of the clubs in this league were actually quite close, and he does know a lot of the people. He's been at non-league level. He's been around step 3. He was at step 3. I don't think he's been in step 4, but he knows a lot of the clubs that have dropped into it this season. I'm hoping for a lot better season. Mid-table would be a big improvement on last season. We'll soon see how it goes. In 12th place now, we've got Hanley Town, a really decent team, and they've been around mid-table ever since they've really come up. They have got some good players. For what they've played, been Adam Whitehouse, and they've also got Tyron Offery, and they have got a really good squad. They kept a lot of it together. I did hear rumours that they wanted our player Aaron Okapo, but he's only just been at the club, really. So I'm not sure if Andy will be able to sneak into that top half, but they got some bit of money and decent players, so they should be ready. But I'll say mid-table again for them. In 11th place now, we've got Congleton. They won the Midlands Football League last season. They smashed it, really. Only had one contender to that league, Little City. And they have got some really good players, and their club is on the rise. So I was tempted to put them into top half, but I think they'll be around top half, mid-table all season. I think they'll do well this season, Congleton. Next, we got 10th place, Witton Albion. A lot of people have been saying they'll bite my hand off for this prediction, because apparently Witton are in turmoil at the moment and have got a lot of visits, some good players go, and they've sacked the manager, appointed a former player, and kept Ben Harrison. I didn't know this up until making the video. I only saw the other day that they sacked the manager, the party company with them. But I think they'll be mid. So hopefully I am right come end of the season on this prediction, and the doubters on who had they're a bit worried going into the season. We're happy once I've said about this prediction. Right, in ninth place we got Witness, a team that had a really good season last season, and they reckon they're going to do really well this season. So I think they'll be top half. The fewer good teams I think will finish a lot higher than them, but I think they'll be around the top half for the majority of the season. Witness. Eighth we got Chase Town, a team that finished around mid-table last season. They've always been step 4 team and always been not going down, not going up. They've kept the majority of their squad all together, the majority are local, and they've also brought back Jules Cater near the end of the half of last season for Chase Town lad. He's a really good player. He lives in Chester I think, which is not far from Chase Town. They brought back Curtis Pond, who's a brilliant keeper for Chase Town. He always impressed me. Joe Butler, another good striker, and Danny Glover, who's been a decent striker for his entire career really, and he didn't succeed at Hensford though, but he is a good a good striker. And keeping the majority of the squad together and looking at the signs they've made, also Sam Griffiths, another really good lad. I think they'll be top half. I'll be amazed if they're not anywhere else this season. 7th we got Cliff Rowe. A lot of people think they're going to be in the playoffs this season, contenders for the league. But I think they could possibly get in the playoffs, but I'm predicting them to possibly miss out. They got Jack Massey as a really good striker for them. He was at us, but travelling was a bit of a killer for us. It was too much for him, and when he played for us, he did look really good. Hope Cliff Rowe do have a really good season. 6th we got City of Liverpool, a team that did get to the playoff final last season and lost to Prescott Cables. And the Austin Ground Sale team never really played in Liverpool already. Bootle kicked them out last season, and they're now playing a Witness for this season. I'm not sure how that's going to go for them, but I think they'll be alright for this season. And finally, we're on to the playoffs. In 5th place, I've got Nantwich Town. They didn't have the best season last season, but they were finished in the top half, and they had a really good ending to last season, so I think they'll surprise a few people. Paul Carden for Warrington and Talbot manager hasn't fully found his feet, but I think he can do this season, and they have got a good squad at Nantwich. 4th place we got Bootle, another team that really surprised a lot of people finishing in the playoffs, especially after the last couple of seasons, mid-table, lower half of the table finishes, and they signed some good players. And they did lose in the playoff semi-final, but I think they can come back stronger this season and get playoffs again. 3rd we got Stadibridge Celtic. That season they finished mid-table in the end in 12th place, but they ended up for the majority of the season they were fighting up to get into that playoff spot, especially after getting relegated in 2022. I think if they can have a couple of seasons down in this league, they'll go back up eventually. And Tom Pratt, Connor Hughes, they've signed a lot of step-free players, new owners, new manager, and are starting off with a massive fresh start this season. And with players this side, I can't see them being anywhere else other than the playoffs. I'm pretty. To be fair, this season it's probably an overestimation where they'll finish, but I think they'll get playoffs this season. Go back even stronger this season, they will. 2nd place, we got Runcorn Linnets. Last few seasons, they've lost in the playoff final. Last season, they lost in the playoff semi-final at home to City of Liverpool, and they got rid of their Billy Painter, their former manager, and appointed a player who was with them last season and played. He's 41 and played in the Football League as well. We're not sure how well that's point going to go down, but I think Runcorn will definitely be up there to get in playoffs. Not sure they'll win the league, but they'll definitely be in the playoffs. I hope they go at this time. It's been a long time. Runcorn fans been really patient. Hopefully it's this season for them. And first place, finally, it's got to be this one. It's got to be Ensford Town. Despite a rivalry with them as a Stafford Rangers fan, I can't predict them anywhere else other than top. Just look at the signings Ensford Town have brought in this season. With the amount of money that they got, they should be winning. Winning the league. I'll be surprised if they don't. Steve King is a new manager. He's been at conference level, especially in National South, for a very long time. Be interesting to see how he does for them. Looking at the players he's signed, Jack Rose from Sutton United, Zidane Sutherland, Joel Taylor from Chester, Simon Mayer, who used to play for them, or is it Russell, Dominic McHale, and they've also got Dan Trickett-Smith and Rob Stevenson, two players who contributed to League Town's promotion last season, scoring lots of goals for them. And they signed one lad up from Scotland, a winger from Scotland. And they've made some crazy signings. Apparently, I've heard that 7 of their players do live in London. And they've had some really impressive crowds this season, and they played against Wolves and Wrexham, had some really good friendlies. I'm playing some really good attacking football at the moment. I don't think it'll be an easy season for them personally. I think it's a tough league, and they won't walk away with it. Just look at Macclesfield and Scunthorpe. They had loads of money and didn't get promoted. I know Hensford are at step 4 and they got a lot of players who were in the National League last season, not majority of their squad, but it's still a same situation though. I think you got loads of money, you're gonna piss the league and all that, and then you don't. It's similar situation, isn't it? But I think Hensford should be able to go up this time. I'll be amazed if they don't. And this is for a Stafford Rangers fan. Personally, in the playoffs, I've had to choose one team that will go up, and I've chosen this time. I keep saying it every season, Runcorn Linnets to go up. Let's hope I'm right. I hope you did. Right, finally, you've come to the end of the video now, so if you did enjoy the video, do get a like, do subscribe to the channel, and turn your notifications every time I make a video. I'll see you all on Saturday as Stafford Rangers try to stay with Celtic in the first game, hoping for a result on the first game. See you later. All the best to whoever you support for the season. Do check out the video and recommend it to your friends and family. Enjoy the rest of the evening, guys. See you later. Bye, everyone.